Let's talk about how to make one character stand out and another hard to watch, and yes, it was painful. Take Shikamaru from Naruto and Moxxie from Helluva Boss. Both are smart, practical thinkers. They approach situations logically, they plan, and they generally keep a cool head, but each have a funny quirk too. Shikamaru is famously lazy after grumbling about how everything's a drag. Moxxie, on the other hand, is insecure, frequently overshadowed by louder personalities around him. Despite those traits, both are skilled when it counts, but only one is consistently satisfying to watch. The difference comes down to what the story does with their flaws. To see how similar traits can be handled in a completely different way, let's start with Shikamaru and how his strengths and flaws are used to tell a compelling story. Even the smartest plans can go wrong. That's what makes Shikamaru's arc work so well. In one mission, he and his team are sent to ambush dangerous criminals. He crafts a plan that seems successful, until it isn't. One of the enemies survives, even after decapitation. The dude is essentially immortal. Shikamaru's strategy didn't fail because he was careless. It failed because the situation included an unknown factor no one could have predicted. His teacher Asuma even admits that someone had to take the risk to learn the truth. With that knowledge, Shikamaru regroups, adapts, and comes back with a new plan. One that succeeds and avenges his teacher. He fails, learns, and overcomes. That kind of arc is not just satisfying, it's meaningful. Now that we have seen how Shikamaru's flaws are turned into meaningful growth, let's look at how Moxxie's story takes a different and far less satisfying path. Moxxie is usually the logical voice in his team, always trying to temper Blitz's chaotic style. So when he's put in charge of a mission, it sets up the expectation that he'll grow into a leader, face setbacks, adjust, and maybe grow. But that's not what happens. The mission is over almost immediately.
Fella over there. I think that's our guy.
Millie, I hardly think pointing out the first guy you see is the proper way to conduct an...
No, that's definitely him. That bag's full of money and drugs and what looks like a drill one would use to poke holes in a bag.
A total success with no effort. What follows is an entire episode focused solely on Moxxie's insecurities, dragged out to the point of second-hand embarrassment. What used to be a funny quirk becomes a central theme, and instead of character growth, we get pure cringe. Lots of it. To really highlight the difference, let's imagine what would happen if the roles were reversed. Shikamaru's mission goes perfectly, the Akatsuki are a joke, and then we just watch him spiral into a full-on slope. The kind of roommate who never showers, leaves food everywhere, and never does the dishes. Nobody wants that arc. Or picture Moxxie's plan falling apart. He has to face that Blitz wild instincts sometimes work. He learns to blend caution with chaos. He grows. When characters struggle, adapt, and evolve, it creates real engagement. But when you just amplify their quirks to uncomfortable extremes, it's like watching someone argue that peeing in bottles is totally fine because the bathroom's too far away. At a certain point, it stops being character development and just becomes something you'd rather fast forward. Basically, when characters mess up and learn, it's way more fun to watch. But if they are just awkward and stuck, it gets kinda rough. And aside from that, remember to drink water.